that you and I are working here today is evidence of that. I don't deny there's some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that. don't deny there's some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Welcome to the Spew, where you've got opinions and we're all assholes. I am one of your extra special hosts, Kiana, and we are surrounded, as always, by a beautiful dais of women, and I just can't wait to hear more about what their weekend plans are. Stevia, you look fantastic. What are you up to, honey?
Thanks, Key. Oh, you know, I've just been working out in my garden. I don't use any pesticides, so I let the insects consume as much as they want. But yeah, I've had a fun weekend. Me and my wife, Olive, just hung out.
That's it. That's so fun. That's amazing.
That's my life.
Lesbians, huh? Karen, our little hometown hero, how are you?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, the weather up in Minnesota is a turning and we're getting ready to plow the fields. But my husband, Mike, has been out there every day along with our 6 boys because, they're all home because of the COVID, to each their own on that one. But, I think we're going to do a nice low key weekend. I was thinking about boiling some brats before putting them in the broiler. Maybe putting a cheeseburger on the barbecue, and then taking maybe a trip out to Menards to pick up some tools. Mike's always looking for a new tool to really drill, really drill it in. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you. So that's my weekend, early nights, early mornings, because the early bird catches the worm.
Wow. That sounds even more fun than Stevia's. Vicky.
Well, I'm not a lesbian, Kiana. I'm not a lesbian.
That's true. Drill that hole, honey. Vicky, the sticky vet dump. How are your days lining up?
Terrible.
Vicky, you're on mute. I think you're on mute.
No. Vicky's talking through Kiana, honey.
Oh, is that right?
It's technology.
It's much like talking through multiple systems. I'm dating multiple partners right now. And I will say, since the antibiotics have not settled, either has my home life. During COVID has been terrible. It's been awful. I'm spending 24/7 with my child. I love her to death. Elizabeth is her name. And I cannot stand her anymore. I mean, spoil them rotten like yogurt. That's what I say. They just spoil after a while.
I do want to be very clear, as you brought up, that we always seem to say, we're not in the studio. We're at our homes and we love them, but we can't get makeup people out here. So you got to give us a little bit of credit.
No, I got some people out, actually. I did have someone come.
Oh, you did? Oh, Vicky, you did? Oh.
Face to face free.
Did you bother to distance, or is that
No, I got a mask right here. I got a mask. It's fine.
Oh,
Oh, Vicky, though, it's strange of you, but wow, we all grow up.
And she is all grown up. Justina Brown is here. How are you, sister?
yeah. I almost didn't think I was gonna make it, but I just got off of the horse, and yeah, it's a lot of fun when you're trying to pump in that canter. But I almost got thrown off by that bitch. Caught myself though. It's so tough sometimes when you have a dead husband. You just don't have anything else to do. So, Vicky, you should be happy that you have children. That's one gift he didn't give me.
Thank you. My husband is also dead. Thank you.
Well, sometimes people don't even have husbands. They're so busy running their jobs that just, life gets ahead of itself, and that's totally fine.
Some people don't.
Kiana, what are you doing this weekend, honey? You didn't tell us.
What
That's
have
done.
you,
How have you been?
what,
We haven't seen each other in forever.
How was it?
what am I not doing this weekend? I have a tour of my new winery that's opening on Saturday night. It's a very, very, very exclusive launch. It's just me and a date that I'm bringing that I'm hoping will go really well. I am attempting to stay really safe within the world of the quarantine. I know it's really important.
Use protection.
Exactly. And, I would have worn a mask today, but I'm all by myself and I want to show off these beautiful teeth.
And you look beautiful. Your teeth are amazing.
They're my best feature. Thank you.
Well,
Oh.
there's the fourth one, though, on the right there. Got to get that checked. Yeah, that one.
It's
Over.
it's from my father's side, so we tend not to talk about it too much. Well, what else is going on, girls? Like, what are we doing? What's happening?
I guess we're choosing a POTUS soon.
Well, yes, that's right. Obviously, the election is coming up on November 1st. There's 13 fantastic candidates. I don't even know how I'm going to choose.
It's too many to choose from, honestly.
I don't know either. I counted literally 4 young girls, I think, running for president.
Well,
that is
And
so
2 of them are
inspiring.
in my party.
That's completely inspiring to me. Like, there used to be a world where there were no women candidates, and now there's 4 young women candidates.
But
It's
to
disgusting.
be fair, Kiana, I have to side with Vicky on this one. I don't know that women are ready for such a leadership posting in this world. I mean, and young women, when we have a pineapple that's running for president, I don't know. That's some stiff competition for that girl.
Well, people said that you can't even have a talk show with 5 women talking about the spiritual, mental, and emotional connections of our lives. And so, frankly, I get it, and I get you, and I totally accept your opinion, but it's not right, and that's okay, because that's what this is about.
I have to say I don't agree. I think it's totally fearless and amazing that these young women, whose society has already beaten down so much in only their 7 to 12 years on the earth. But for these young women to reclaim their power in that way is really inspiring. I mean, Brayna, her message just is really resonating with people.
And what is that message, Stevia?
Her message is like, it's like
She checks
about-
her notes to make sure that she's with her.
No, I mean, it's just about taking agency over your own life and, your own potential. And that's something I think that we can all identify with.
I agree. I will say, the thing about me is, I'm of the Rock Party, and we are in a great place right now because we have quite a bit of candidates right now. And so, as you know, the Rock Party represents foundation, jewels, things that have been here for a while and should stay. You know what I mean? Like money, rocks, foundations. It's very obvious. There's so many good candidates out there right now. I just feel drawn in so many different directions. It's the weirdest thing. I threw a charity event the other day, and Pineapple showed up.
Lucky.
Androgynous thing floating in the air. Pineapple was there. I know. It was crazy. I couldn't stand. Could not stand. Did not like it at all. Well, my vote personally right now is I may be from Florida. I may have a series of swamp-themed amusement parks. But I will have to say that I am going to be voting for alligator. Alligator.
Stop.
You've been here for generations, good foundations, but also, like, honestly, just fun. A fun time.
Well, that's an interesting concept, but a rock is really heavy. And if anything's going to be a rock, I mean, please let it be something that you can throw, which is why I'm a part of the paper party. And when I think of paper, I think of the time that I joined the sorority Delta Gamma Lambda. And yeah, these girls actually wanted me to go through a pledge process. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pay my money. Why would I do hard labor? Someone smack me in the face, having someone piss in my face? No, I'm not doing that. No, not from where I came from.
Sometimes pissing in face is warranted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Justina, don't knock getting pissed in the face because there's a lot of people that are gonna do a lot of things, and I like to do them.
That's
Well,
called
Justina-
yucking someone's yum. You're yucking
Yeah.
someone's yum right now.
Justina, Mike and I have been together for like 20 years. And, after 6 boys, and sometimes you get a blowout, you have to find other ways to really make yourself interesting in the bedroom.
Okay, ladies, let's keep it classy, okay? I didn't mean for us to go off on that verge. I was just saying that you need to be light and you need to not work hard. Like my dad said, don't work smart, work hard. I mean, no, he didn't say that. He said, don't work hard, work
All
smart.
I heard was hard, and that reminds me of a lot of things, but one of them is a rock.
Party. Oh my gosh. One party we haven't heard about yet is the scissor party. And I think I can think of no one else to better speak about this issue.
I know. I mean, the jokes kind of write themselves that I'm a lesbian representative of the scissor party. But, I think that they really have some cogent policy positions. The scissor party is about progress. It's about cutting through the chaff of society and trying to get to the good stuff. And we just have a lot of chaff in our bloated modern world. We don't need rocks weighing us down, and we don't need the flimsy sort of moral principles that the paper party espouses. We need real cutting change.
Well, and you are right, because this is a very hot election year. Over 100% of respondents to a recent poll said they're planning to vote. And also registered. Now, that's pretty impressive. I'm no scientist, but I cannot tell you how many people that is. It's a lot. But that doesn't mean everybody. It's 100% of these respondents. But that means you really have to go hard on getting people to register.
Sounds a little like communism, if you ask me. 100%. I mean, didn't Stalin get 100% of the vote? I'm just putting it out there as a thought piece for everyone to weigh in on. Perhaps it's not.
Karen, I hear you, but as a small businesswoman and a small business owner, it is incredibly important that everyone stands up for their rights and gets to make choices, specifically buying my products, to do the right thing and make their own decision. So all it matters is that you register. That's all I care about. You can buy from me, you can buy from somebody else, but as long as you're registered to vote, then you can buy from whoever you want. People are real fucked up though. In the poll, a lot of people said mostly that they had dread and even fistfuls of hair. What do you think that means?
I think it's when you have too much of like a chlamydia sort of antibiotic, and then like you overdose on it and like clumps come out. I think it's along the lines of that.
Are you kidding me? All right, I know I'm all glam and whatnot, but let's not forget that I did come from the streets, all right? When you say fist of hair, that's 2 girls fighting, all right? Someone that has a bad weed, maybe a roller set or something like that, and they're just mulching at each other. It's disgusting.
Well, up here in the Great White North in Minnesota, a dread to us is sort of like, well, I don't know, when a cow tips too far, hits the transformer goes down, the barn catches on fire. Next thing you know, Minneapolis, St. Paul's burning.
Well, that, and in a pandemic, you can't even ask for anything worse. And 21% of people feel like the COVID pandemic is the worst thing they've ever lived through.
Oh.
And not for me. Mine was back in '89 when I lost Homecoming Queen. But we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. I think we're really missing a topic right now, and I think I should speak on it. We're not talking about families and foundations for our current nation. We need family, right? Let's not forget. So these young millennials, these millennials, or these Zumziers or Zoozers or whatever they are, we need to stop worrying about them. We need to stop worrying about it. We need to stop listening to them. We need to listen to distinguished women of a certain age, and maybe marry them instead of, and also vote for them instead of just voting for whoever's the youngest and the hottest around right now.
Well, and I will say that 68% of current respondents to our latest poll are supporting, drum roll please, the scissor party. Well, that was a surprise for me, especially because I believe its rock is just filled with candidates. And I don't know how they're going to fight over such a small electorate.
You know what? I've got one thing to say about it, and that is Q over Q, quality over quantity. Okay, the scissor party does not have 10 candidates vying for the nomination, but it does have some really strong people.
Stevia, that's a good plug right there for the American Constitution, which lays out two political parties as Amendment 31 and says that you can only have two because we're not Europe. We're not socialists. We're not going to have a lot of candidates. And if you only have two parties, you're going to get your way. So, Stevia, your scissors are ready to come to power.
Well, Karen.
Well, I would not agree with that.
Karen, you always manage to bring such a thoughtful outside perspective to what is obviously like a pretty crazy show, right? We get a little bit dramatic, we get a little bit of fun. What's so important to you? Because I feel like you're not really hungry on any individual party.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up, Kiana, because we've known each other, months at this point? And I think that's what's so important is that not being a coastal elite and, growing up in outstate Minnesota and, vacationing in Wisconsin and North Dakota, I, as a young girl, learned that it's much less about what my elected representative wants to represent and more about what I do in my home life. So to me, I don't think you need to vote, but you could. And then on top of that, it's all about living at home and being a good wife and being a good mom. I graduated college. I sure did. Graduated summa cum laude, but I didn't do anything with that degree. I wasn't meant to. I was meant to help my husband. And so where Stevie is out here being all, woman's world and woman's work, I'm doing my woman's job at home. So I can't be too much on a candidate because Mike hasn't weighed in yet. And once Mike weighs in, then Mike's going to tell me who to vote for. And of course, I'm going to cast my vote like my husband. I'm not mean. I'm not a mean woman,
Well, as someone who does identify as mean, I think that you are so much more than what Mike thinks, Karen. And I wish you would unshackle yourself. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Okay, respect it, but me and my husband have our thing.
I've had 40 years on this earth with no real significant relationships and certainly no children. And
absolutely,
I think you're exactly right, Stevia. You can stand on your own and you can be your own person. But I will also say that feminism requires that you allow people to make the decisions that they feel are best for themselves. So, Karen, I know this is
true.
And I really, we're keeping our fingers crossed, but it's up to you to make that decision. It's not up to us, and that's
true. That's true.
It just seems like you're in a hard place, you might say. And that really
Oh, ladies.
my party because
Hard.
it is truly about family. I believe your husband might be a rock partier already.
Well,
We have a great party that we go to.
well, he's a rock something. I'll tell you what. Close those curtains, turn off the lights, and maybe it's a Sunday afternoon and Kieran's getting a tickle downstairs.
Ladies.
Downstairs. Mm-hmm.
That's what I like to hear.
Vicky, I do not swing that way, and don't you insinuate. We only have sex in the front hole.
Speaking of holes, like I said, there's 13 candidates. All of those holes are filled, honey. And there are so many people that are just blowing my mind, regardless of whatever party you provide for and support. Who are your highs and who are your lows? Let's do highs first. Destina, what's top of mind for you? Who are you thinking of?
All right. Well, I'm definitely banking on the Takaifer because she is the only one that's running for the electoral the paper party. And as an influencer of cash, money is all that money that makes sense. And that makes sense to me. It resonates in my mind. It's like that conversation.
I hear that 100%.
Okay. And worst, definitely this mushroom party is just, they're alone. I mean, it almost sounds like a great fit for Karen. I don't know what to do about fungi. I don't like it.
I ask, why are we running towards a young influencer in our lives? What is that about? No foundation or anything.
I don't often agree with Miss Van Dump. To be honest, isn't she a little bit right here? I mean, shouldn't we be trusting just old men to run everything? Like, is it like Kiana? I know you're a woman who made it on your own, but most of us don't have that kind of wherewithal to do it. Like did I get straight A's all through my years in school? Would I have been able to run Target or 3M or another great Minnesota-based Fortune 500 company? Absolutely, but it's not my place because I'm a woman. So,
But sister, you got to follow the money, and I can appreciate that the white old man who is cisgender and straight, he is a dinosaur that's going away. And it's, not just because I run my own small women business consulting firm to help other women stand up, but also you can see it everywhere. People are standing up to say, no more, we're going to get a piece of this pie and we're headed to the sky. And frankly, like, I hear you, Karen, and I respect where you're coming from because, we're completely different worlds, completely different realities, same hairdresser, but, we do what we can to find those connections so that we see each other as people, but also like these big money spender TikTok people make like $48 million a day. I'd like shit you not, even though that app is going away by Sunday, like somehow though, they're going to find it through VPNs, through firewalls. Like that money is for the taking and like old white men are leaving it behind.
Okay. I mean, that's why we're all here, right? We all represent a different viewpoint, but we're women of a certain age who have made it this far. We all have a little bit of something. We all came from somewhere. And that's part of it. We can appeal to the American voter. We can appeal to the next POTUS. Either way, we're not going anywhere. And whoever wins this election, we're going to hold them to account. We're going to hold them to their decisions. We're going to make sure they abide by their policy. And first and foremost, we're going to ensure that they invest in research for chlamydia. Because our dear Vicky Van Dump.
Thank you. That actually is a great point. So we're talking a lot about these older men maybe running society, right? My candidate, Alligator, can only live up to 50. And I think maybe there's something there.
All right.
Stevia, do you have a comment about?
Well, I suppose I don't want to interrupt. I really don't want to interrupt.
Just do it.
But no, I think that we're quick to idolize this alligator cowboy, but I don't like the romanticization of a violent alligator who goes out like in the Wild West shooting people. I mean, what about like a nice farmer cowboy? I mean, farmer alligator who's like, you know, trying to grow crops and like, I don't know, contribute to an ecosystem of some kind. I mean,
So every alligator is violent to you. If you went to a
every
single
alligator.
alligator farms, you might learn something, because I can just hold an active alligator in my hand. They actually were entered into my womb because one of them couldn't actually have their own womb. So they just put the eggs in me and they birthed out. And they are the most gentle things I've ever felt in my life.
You know what, Vicky? I think everything you just said is a crock of shit.
So these candidates, who else are we thinking of?
Well, let's look at, Key, let's look at the list here. Who do we have? I mean,
if I could jump in, I don't have a specific party that I'm settling on yet. Again, Karen and I have something in common. I do myself love Amy Rocketship. I just find, she's a rock.
Yeah.
So we know she's tough. She's strong. She's got a lot going on. She might even come on this show, I hear, at a later date. We're trying to book all these people, get like really top of mind of like our issues and making sure they can speak to them. And I am just over the moon that like she loves science. She wants to go to the solar system. And again, young women are our future. Let's be honest, right? Like we have had 2,000 years of patriarchy. And frankly, I'm a little bit tired of it. I've made a lot of money off of it, but I want everyone to make the way that I have. And I think bringing some pragmatism and intelligence to the way we do government is exactly what I want to see.
She sounds very bright. I can't wait to have her on the show.
Ladies, while we're here and we're talking about who we might want to have on the show, I mean, I'll be honest, the candidate video for Mr. Cream, I was drawn to it and I'm not sure why. I mean, was there something there? I wouldn't mind having a little Cream on the show,
I don't want to have somebody in big dairy running our country. I mean, talk about an entrenched cis white man. I mean, this is just the epitome of it. His name is literally Cream. He's as white and bland as it gets. And I'm just on the other side of this, Karen. No disrespect.
I'm an undecided voter. Kiana and I have not decided who we're voting for. I'm just saying that I was drawn to Mr. Cream.
Richard Cream brings up some interesting points of a family foundation, coming back to the farm, only drinking what you can actually consume. And I like some of those ideals. I do. I think we should get back to the foundation, and a very rich foundation at that.
Well, ladies, we're going to hear so much more from these 13 candidates, especially during the party debates. They're going to be happening on October 8th. You have to tune in. It's going to be a live event filled with questions, answers, spins, hot takes. I am kind of getting hot over here. We're going to have all sorts of things, especially answering, why should they be president? You can totally tweet your questions for the candidates using hashtag #WhitPOTUS2020 and hashtag party debates. Karen, I think you have a very extra special message for the rest of our show. I'll let you take us out.
I do. So I don't want to, speak for all of us, but I do want to say that tonight we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And on a serious note, that is a big deal because Justice Ginsburg has been a staunch stalwart of American democracy, which is its own unique government entity. It was Winston Churchill that said, and I paraphrase, democracy is not the perfect form of government, but it's the best we have right now. And to all those who might be undecided, to all those who haven't registered to vote, and I know we're probably not speaking to all of America right now, but please get out there. Please register to vote. Please make sure that your friends and family are registered to vote, because it is your civic duty. It is the most patriotic thing we can do. Let your voice be heard. Let your voice be known. And if you want to learn how to vote, if you haven't voted in the past, there are so many resources out there to help you. Contact your local election board. They are happy to help you vote. If you want volunteer to work your election, I am actually going to be a poll worker, POLL worker this time around, because it is just so important that we get out there, and especially those of us who are under 55 or 60 years old and don't have pre-existing conditions, and are less likely to be at risk of death from coronavirus. Please get out there and work your election. There has never been an election like this in American history, nor in any democratic society. And we are at the confluence of a lot of different events right now. And I urge you, please get out and vote, honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and honor the legacy she has that has allowed us as 5 gay men to dress up as women and come to you live from Zoom to do this and not face repercussions or repression from our government.
I couldn't have said it better than myself. Head to www.vote411.org. And until next time, we've been the Spew. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Karen, I never would have guessed that was a wig.
Wouldn't you?